Hello and a lovely good evening to you today, and welcome to Camnet TV News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Top stories in the news tonight: an opposition leader rejects constitutional reforms as others urge government to unveil a roadmap. LUSAKA man dragged to the victim's support for implicating his wife in prostitution. MISISI residents demand community involvement on commercialization of the NGWENYA Dam. And in international news, Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam starts generating power. And in sports news, Manchester United survived a steering Leeds United comeback.
Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated, qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com. Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Hello once again, another news in detail. A 45-year-old man of Lusaka's Kanyama compound has been dragged to a victim support organization by two women for allegedly accusing them of initiating his wife into prostitution. The women, who happen to be acquaintances of the man's wife, Lausiwi Miti, 40 years old, have challenged Mr. Emmanuel Lungu to explain to them how they were teaching his wife such immoral behavior by way of producing evidence in support of his allegations. Meanwhile, Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights Director Richard Nkua has observed that poor foundation and lack of counseling are the many contributing factors to family disintegration, which he said needs stakeholder collaboration to reverse. More in this report.
While others were getting ready with their day to go to church and worship, and some were busy running their day-to-day errands, it was, however, a different scenario in Lusaka's old Kanyama compound after two women of the area dragged a 45-year-old man to a community victim support organization called Concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights for allegedly accusing them of teaching his wife immoral behavior. The women, who happen to be acquaintances of the man's wife, Lausiwi Miti, have challenged Mr. Emmanuel Lungu to explain to them how they are teaching his wife such immoral behavior by way of producing any evidence in support of his allegations. Speaking in defense of the women, Lausiwi Miti, the man's wife, informed the director at Concerned Citizen that her husband is abusive to her every time, especially when he gets drunk. She dismissed her husband's allegations as far-fetched and tearfully observed that she is tired of her marriage and wants to go back to her village. She also says she cannot stop interacting with her two neighbors despite the nasty things her husband is saying about them. She observed that contrary to what Mr. Lungu had alleged, she found her neighbors to be kind, good-hearted, and that she has never quarreled with them.
So la sister wao namauza kuti ine apa manje apa next zaenda ku victim support nale manafu opera kuti vangatitandisire awu litandizo lemene nifuna pamakutera ngamidamu ya simple kuna chikwati chanile mesi.
In his defense, Mr. Lungu maintains that he does not want to see his wife interact with her two neighbors, as he does not like their attitude and suspect that they might be teaching his wife bad behavior. He says he still loves his wife because they have been married for 23 years with 5 children.
Simple instruction. So, chamechivuta sifuna ababiri yaba. Make made na uja kusebera na mate mwanga. That's the major issue. Okay. Olo sister wanga amene mkulu paline. I went yesterday, in fact. Sister, because I've seen it, there's no, okay, okay, why out of the Ochi Panda, 2 of them? The Ochi Panda there. She's my wife. Nowhere can I say, no way. I declare she's my wife. But in the process, because of these 2 niggas.
In their mediation, the Concerned Citizen for Justice and Human Rights, the organization where this matter was reported, condemns the behavior of Mr. Lungu and has since advised him to stop mentally abusing his wife. The organization has further called for the couple to reconcile and requested Mr. Lungu to apologize to his neighbors for falsely accusing them.
According to what the man has said and also according to what the woman she's saying, at the moment our position, I think they have to go under counseling. We need to start a process of counseling the woman. Also, we need to start a process of counseling the man. I think there are just certain issues which a man should understand, also a woman should understand, so that we see the best we reduce this issue of conflict in their marriage.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Residents of Lusaka's MISISI compound have opposed any commercial plans surrounding the NGWENYA Dam without their full involvement. Community leader in Lusaka's Chawama constituency in Koloma Ward 1, Charles Kafumbo, tells Camnet News that the dam must be utilized for the benefit of the community. Mr. Kafumbo says with improvement in CDF allocation to a tune of 25.7 million kwacha, the dam can be used for community projects such as fish farming and tourism activities. He says those who intend to utilize the water body must work with residents to avoid resentment. More in this report.
The NGWENYA Dam is terrifying at glance for its association with dead bodies, but perhaps not for these young people showcasing their swimming skills. Throughout existence, the NGWENYA Dam has been known to be notorious for dumping of bodies, a den of crime and pollution. Visiting the place is always at the owner's risk. Security remains the biggest problem. In the year 2018, we saw City Maria Investment Limited coming on board to develop the multi-mode waterfront property development project at NGWENYA Dam and Blue Water in MISISI compound. The company was expected to develop a $70 million project dubbed Maria Pleasure Resort, comprising an upmarket 4-star hotel, conference rooms, restaurants, apartments, office buildings and boat facilities on the dam. Sadly, the project could not take off and nobody knows why. However, this was done without the involvement of the community, and community leader and activist Charles Kafumbo says any plans to develop the area must be done in partnership with the residents. He says the area has the potential to facilitate access to income-generating activities through fish farming and tourism ventures.
There's an island just in the middle of this, a very big island, where we can put up a hotel, a sinking hotel. There's a big island there. We can do that in partnership, not whereby you sell it to a private individual because he's from Israel, he's from whatever, sorry to mention Israel, from Greece, whatever. We want to partner with anybody so that we can do tourism here. This is a resource for Zambians. It's a resource for the people of Mrs. Kuku, for the people of Nkoroma Ward 1, for the youths of Nkoroma Ward 1. It's their resource. Now you cannot sell it privately so that you yourself, who's maybe Uko, Kumayadi, benefits. No, we are saying this is our resource whereby we want to do community tourism.
He has also suggested that the Lusaka Water and Sanitation Company can utilize the facility for the provision of water in the city.
I started making noise. Who has bought our NGWENYA dam? Because as a community, we're not consulted at all. You cannot sell a very beautiful dam like this one, where the community depend on. They do right now, as I'm speaking, they are doing laundry here, right? They draw their water to do laundry here. This is a water resource, and in my view, the Lusaka Water and Sewage Company was supposed even to draw water here and purify it, take it across Lusaka, purify it. We're also supposed to gain from the resource of the water here as a community. Chinese have been drawing water from here, free of charge.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Governance activist Louis Mwape has emphasized the need for effective sensitization on the management of the Constituency Development Funds, CDF. In an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Mwape says the government's division of planning should help constituencies set priority projects before receiving funds, because only then can they make good use of the money. The Constituency Development Funds for the year 2022 has been increased from the previous 1.6 million kwacha to 25.7 million kwacha. More in this report.
Created to fight poverty at grassroots level through the implementation of community-based projects which have long-term effect of improving the people's economic well-being, and to relieve members of parliament from the heavy demands of fundraising for projects, Constituency Development Funds, CDF, opines that the management, disbursement, utilization and accountability of these funds shall be prescribed. With the increase of the CDF to 25.7 million kwacha from the previous 1.6 million kwacha, different stakeholders have called upon countrywide sensitization programs on the management of the CDF so as to avoid arrest over abuse, misuse, misapplication and misappropriation. In recent times, there has been much controversy about the management of the funds with regards to accountability, allocation, targeting and priority setting, and overall effectiveness.
First of all, we must admit that there is need for government to build the capacity of institutions that are responsible for implementation of the CDF. And targeting the MPs would be an ideal, but more importantly would be to target the local institutions like the local authorities and all those institutions that are earmarked to be part of the committees, Constituency Development Fund Committee, to ensure that their capacity is built, they are being educated on how to utilize the fund.
The fear is that without proper sensitization on the CDF guidelines, these funds will just be money in a bank account.
Also, in terms of project appraisal, all those processes are the cycle of project management, so that they also understand and appreciate how the project and the output and the outcome of the project, all those issues needs to be understood. So just basically the project cycle management would be ideal. But in terms of governance and the prudent use of the resources, I think it should all be about all the stakeholders that are involved in the management of CDF must be targeted, and strengthening the capacity of the communities, capacity of local institutions will be the most ideal.
Miriam Kemba reporting for Camnet TV News.
Leaders of opposition political parties have issued divergent views on constitutional reforms, with Patriots for Economic Progress leader Sean Tembo claiming that Zambia does not need a new constitution but political will on the application of existing laws. But Leadership Movement President Richard Silumbe believes the country needs a constitution that will stand the test of time. Meanwhile, Socialist Party President Fred Membe has charged that the pending constitutional reforms will amount to nothing if they will be driven by politicians. More in this report.
Undoubtedly, Zambia has over the years struggled to have a flawless constitution, as evidenced in the fact that every political party that takes over government Certainly, journeys on this path, which has over the years been gobbling a lot of resources. The United Party for National Development, UPND, has indicated that constitutional reforms will be inevitable to address the lacunas and what others say some unprogressive clauses. We spoke to leaders of various political parties to get their perspective on this national matter. Andy Footbanda is the president for the People's Alliance for Change.
The reason why the constitutional reforms failed, under the PF government in the last 5 years was because stakeholders failed to agree on the process. So the first step in ensuring that we have a constitutional, a proper process in the constitutional making process is to make sure that stakeholders agree, on the process that should be worked on. I think for us, we will not dictate to say this is how we want it to be done. I think we want to call upon, the Minister of Justice to convene a meeting of all stakeholders from the church, political parties, the general public, and other stakeholders to ensure that we agree on how we're going to go about refining the constitution and coming up with a proper constitution.
Leadership Movement President Dr. Richard Silumbe believes the country needs a constitution that will stand the test of time.
To repeal that constitution and ensure that we remove such kind of things that enable restarting the whole process, and in the end we lose a lot of resources. There are a number of lacunas that are in the constitution that we need to work around and ensure that we may not have a perfect constitution per se, but we can always remove certain lacunas that enable that do not help in terms of delivering services and ensuring that people are going towards development.
But Socialist Party President Fred Membe says politicians should not dictate the way forward on the constitution, but citizens.
The constitution that we have today is not different. The way our new government is going about it is not different from the way previous governments have done it. And because they are trying to do it the same old way, which led us to have the type of constitution we have today, they are going to end up in the same way. They are bound to make the same mistakes. Let whatever constitutional reforms are being made be a product of the people. It starts with we, the people. Only the people themselves can give themselves a constitution. Nobody can give the people a constitution. If somebody says they are going to give you a constitution, then you know it's not your constitution, it's their constitution.
But Patriots for Economic Progress leader Sean Tembo says Zambia does not need a new constitution, but political will on the application of existing laws.
I believe that the biggest problem is in the laws that we have, including the constitution. We feel that the biggest challenge we have, which needs to be addressed, is in the attitude of the political leadership towards the laws that we have. At the end of the day, a law can never be prescriptive enough such that there is no single loophole available to manipulate it.
They say the Constitution does not just protect those whose views we share, it also protects those whose views we disagree. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
United Party for National Development, UPND Katombora constituency member of Parliament Clement Andeleki regrets that certain individuals have not healed from the past election shock, hence can be witnessed in their bitterness. In an interview, Mr. Andeleki says Zambia is an emerging democracy whose people should compete for ideas that will help develop the country. He adds that moving forward, Zambia needs great ideas and innovation that will help it achieve its goal of becoming a middle-income country.
Very saddening, as politicians. It's very saddening to a democracy like Zambia. Zambia is an emerging democracy. I can assure you that 10, 15, 20 years, Zambia would be a leading democracy. But the problem that we have in this country is that people in Zambia still has that kind of hatred. You know, democracy is a competition of ideas on the market. People must be free to choose which ideas they want. Therefore, there is no need for reconciliation because I don't see any differences. What differences are there? Okay? The people of Zambia are the owners of this country. The people of Zambia are bigger than all laws in Zambia. So they put up a law called the Constitution, which provides for elective office, holding elections every after 5 years. Therefore, there is no need for reconciliation because when somebody insults, one person insults, I don't think that goes to everyone, like to affect everyone to require a reconciliation. There's no need for a reconciliation because reconciliation is only necessary if the country is divided. We are not divided. We went into an election. The people of Zambia were asked to choose. And they chose a government that they entrusted. And this government currently has started working.
The Zambia Federation of Employers, ZFE, has urged the government to expedite the revision of the National Pension Scheme Act No. 40 of 1996 to accommodate their recommendations. Section 15, Cap 2 of the National Pension Scheme Act prescribes that penalties will be charged on all late or unpaid contributions. The section prescribes that a 20% cumulative penalty shall be charged on all unpaid or late contributions. And ZFE Executive Director Harrington Chiwanda says the clause is retrogressive and affects the operations of companies. He has since recommended that penalties be reduced to provide relief to employers in the country.
A penalty can be there, but let it be reasonable penalty. Okay? Look, that 20% currently sitting in the NAPSA Act is not a 10%, a 20% which will be charged on a principal amount that you are owing. Like at the time you are paying, they say 20%. No, it's cumulative. 20% for every month that the money is not remitted. And we've had instances, I'll give you a case where maybe the actual amount that a company is owing is 200,000, but the penalties alone are amounting to 4 million. How can you justify that? It's totally unacceptable because if that 200,000 was paid, there's no investment that NAPSA would do that would give them a return of 4 million over that period of time under which the money was not remitted. You see what I mean? So penalties can be there, but let them be realistic. Let them be reasonable. Let the rate be something which is affordable and also how it is applied on the principle. You see what I mean? So no employer would say if the penalty is reduced, then they will become reluctant and they can't remit the funds. That is not true. Okay, that is not true because employers first, they have interests of their workers at heart. These are employees who are working for them and they'll be happy to see them live a successful life even post-employment.
The Private Security Companies Association of Zambia has called for thorough scrutiny in the recruitment of security guards in order to bring sanity to the sector. Association President Francis Mukuka notes that the sector has been infiltrated by people with a criminal mentality. He says in order to safeguard lives and property, security companies need to be undertaking background checks on individuals being recruited as security guards. He says cooperation with the Zambia police is vital in order to get rid of criminal elements.
This is what we are trying to work with the Zambia police so that we scrutinize. Security guards should be trained. Security guards should also be scrutinized. We should look at who are we employing. Because some of them, without scrutinizing, they end up employing these former convicts, also criminals. So we, as security companies, they need to take time as they recruiting because they are endangering and also putting companies' properties at risk. So my message to companies is that let them start scrutinizing these security guards before deploying them, because 3/4 of these premises are very sensitive, and when they have been contracted, they have been entrusted to look after their properties. So it's not that the company should lose money. Also, at the end of the day, the security company will claim for the payment.
This is Camnet News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana. Vanga kubunkireni dad.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the... She has so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thanks for staying with us. We continue with the news. Residents of New Kanyama in Kanyama constituency of Lusaka province have called on the government to work on the most deplorable roads in their constituency. In an interview with Camnet TV, the residents say most roads have developed trenches due to the excess flooding in their area. More in this report.
Kanyama is one of the largest communities in Lusaka. It is located on the west side of the city center. With a population of about 400,000 inhabitants, most township roads in the locality are in deplorable state. Roads in Kanyama are almost impossible to navigate because they have potholes and are mostly flooded during rain season. Camnet TV was in New Kanyama, where residents have complained about a trench in their locality.
So tifuna ko construction vachiteko vindu vanze because apata manje apo pata pachoko jomba motoka inangena mukati malasto idonsa vacho idonsa kuti ichoke otherwise maroad siyali mushe kona tipempa kuti MP vakuno vaikireko nzero nkangema construction ya meachitika kona.
In an interview with this reporter, they say the trench is dangerous, especially for children.
Ndipo basi pitero diri atu panyumba nipando tistozunguka mvura ikaloka tistanoyopa. Vimanzi fulu pingalira ela mamu kafuna ti mujumpe pepa jompezika mwadumbwira so motoka ijena boya ngena mailo one side so kungena. Kusto idonsa manje motoka ngakale ni life. Vaempi valanganirepa.
Meanwhile, Kanyama constituency member of parliament has urged the members of the public to desist from being found around the trench, stating that government is going to work on most township roads.
The trench and the council have put some caution there.
that needs to be protected and that needs to be respected and followed. We are not going to compromise on safety. It is our role as parents to ensure that our children don't play near such facilities. It is our role. Nevertheless, as a member of Parliament for Kanyama, we intend to put up a good road network in Kanyama.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Paramount Chief Mpezeni of the Ngoni people in Eastern Province says his chiefdom will work hand in hand with the government in the fight against COVID-19. Speaking when the minister in charge of health, Sylvia Masebo, paid a courtesy call on him at his palace, Chief Mpezeni says the fight against the pandemic is everyone's effort. Meanwhile, Ms. Sylvia Masebo is impressed with the response coming from schools in getting children vaccinated.
Ambili tarasiwa ezokapezeka ati nakuvala zachepya manga towatibiteni mwandifubonze tina vovala venangu umozi tarasiwa ngati bali odasemona tikamba tikazivala inangu point ni yabana bati bali na 12 years na bafunga kubatandiza mike bawuza bati bana bali na 12 years bafunga nawo kulasiwa kabida pamanje yapezeka ati vana vafana vamba kuzala maskulu amshira mumbera bati maskulu enangu.
A business consultant, John Banda, has urged the youth in Zambia to move away from a victim mindset and develop useful ideas that will alleviate them from poverty. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Banda says with today's times, it is not in order for young people to blame politicians for their failures. He says young people should be in a position to know how to generate resources using digital technology and having the right relationships. He further adds that young people should desist from indulging in malicious acts and engage in more meaningful activities.
The victim mindset. In the current times, what you need to utilize right now are really having useful ideas, maximizing technology, taking advantage of technology, and also understanding the collaborative relationships of implementing those ideas. So we're talking about having useful ideas, having right relationships where you can implement the ideas and you can also garner support for them. So the issue of blaming politicians and saying I'm where I am because of politicians and all that is not going to help anyone. It makes you feel good temporarily, but doesn't produce any results. Today, more than ever, through technology, through having useful ideas and the right people, you can achieve anything that you want to achieve. So, yeah.
The Zambia Meteorological Department has announced that a tropical cyclone called Emnati has developed over southwest Indian Ocean and is currently located northeast of Mauritius. This system is projected to intensify and affect Mauritius in the next 24 to 48 hours. The department says it will continue monitoring and updating the general public on whether the system as it develops. Meanwhile, Met says the tropical storm Dumako has now reduced in strength and the remnants are currently located over northern Mozambique as a deep low pressure system. This is according to a weather advisory issued by the Weather Department yesterday, the 19th of February 2022. The weather advisory indicated that the deep low pressure system is confining rainfall activities over northern and central parts of Zambia. Meanwhile, Lusaka, southern and western provinces are expected to experience reduced rainfall in the next 48 hours. This is Camnet TV News. We'll take a break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Are you a qualified and skilled marketing person? Have you got the passion and motivation as a marketer? Camnet TV is looking for self-motivated qualified marketers. For more details, please call 0962 965 883 or send your details to the email info@camnettvafrica.com.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. And in international news, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed described the start of power generation at the controversial Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on Sunday as a milestone. The dam, built on the Blue Nile, is set to be Africa's largest hydroelectric project once fully completed in 2024. Only one of 13 turbines is currently operational, with an installed capacity of 375 megawatts. A second turbine is scheduled to start operating within months. Meanwhile, rescuers boarded a burning ferry off of Greece and freed 2 truck drivers stranded inside the vessel for more than 15 hours, but hope faded for 12 others reported missing. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed described the start of power generation at the controversial Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on Sunday as a milestone. The dam, built on the Blue Nile, is said to be Africa's largest hydroelectric project, once fully completed in 2024. Since 2011, that the project has been at the center of a regional dispute with Egypt and Sudan that depend on the Nile for drinking water and irrigation. Talks held under the auspices of the African Union have so far failed to reach agreement in terms of filling and operating the dam's reservoir. The dam is expected to produce more than 5,000 megawatts of electricity, more than doubling Ethiopia's electricity output.
Turkish passengers rescued from the Euro ferry Olympia prepare to leave Corfu. They're boarding a boat that'll take them home to Istanbul.
The Italian Coast Guard helped us a lot. They brought us to Corfu and put us up in a hotel. The Turkish embassy also helped us a lot. We are very grateful to the Italians and the Turks. Luckily, we didn't die. That is the most important thing. The rest doesn't matter.
Also at the port is Ilias Gerontidakis. He's waiting for news about his missing father.
I talked to the port authorities and they told me information about the fire. I've been to the other side of Corfu so I could see the ferry. I saw the fire go out and grey smoke appeared. Then suddenly the boat caught fire again. The wait tonight will be bad, and as the hours go by, my legs are trembling.
The ferry caught fire off the coast of Corfu on its way to Italy. The relatives of one truck driver on board say they're worried he may not have had time to escape.
He was afraid of coronavirus. He had health issues, and because he was afraid of catching the virus due to overcrowding on the ferry, he often preferred to sleep in the truck. especially if it was not a long trip.
Rescue teams are unable to board the ferry to look for missing people because the temperature is still too hot. Relatives fear the authorities will call off the search.
We spoke with the Coast Guard a while ago. They're waiting for the effects of the water being used by firefighters to create cooler conditions so that they can enter. They're doing what they can, and they are concerned.
Greek prosecutors have ordered an inquiry into the cause of the fire. The captain of the ferry has been questioned and released. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
Let's now have some sports news. Manchester United survived a stirring Leeds United comeback at an emotional Elland Road to put themselves back in the Premier League's top four with a crucial victory. In the first game in front of fans between the two old rivals at Elland Road since October 2003, they produced a fitting spectacle played out in a deluge and a predictably thunderous atmosphere. Manchester United were in complete control at the break after captain Harry Maguire headed in Luke Shaw's corner, and Bruno Fernandes did the same from Jadon Sancho's right on half-time. Leeds, however, mounted a superb revival and were level with 2 goals inside a minute as Rodrigo's 53rd minute cross drifted in behind keeper David De Gea. Then substitute Rafinha sent Elland Road into raptures when he slid home a cross from Daniel James. Manchester United gathered themselves. Manager Ralph Rangnick made changes, and one of his substitutes produced the rewards as Fred drove in an Ilan Messler's near post following more good work by Sancho with 20 minutes left, although Anthony Elanga was struck by objects thrown from the crowd amid the celebrations. Elanga recovered to confirm Manchester United's win with a composed finish 2 minutes from time from Fernandes' pass. To end Camnet TV News, we'll take a look at stories making headlines once again. An opposition leader rejects constitutional reforms as others urge government to unveil a roadmap. LUSAKA man dragged to victim support for implicating his wife in prostitution. MISISI residents demand community involvement on commercialization of the NGWENYA Dam. In international news, Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam starts generating power. And in sports news, Manchester United survived a stirring Leeds United comeback. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Psalms 46, verse 10 to 11. Stop your fighting and know that I'm God, exalted among the nations, exalted on the earth. Yahweh of Hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Thank you for watching Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziabo. Good night.